Chapter 3: Weather and Climate. Introduction to the chapter. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere over a short period of time. Today weather may be sunny or cloudy, but it may change tomorrow. Weather changes from day to day and even from hour to hour. Climate of a place is the average weather conditions over a long period of time. You have different climates in different parts of world. In this chapter you will study about the weather and climate and factors that determine the climate of a place. The climate. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere over a short period of time. The weather at a time can be hot, cold, sunny, cloudy, rainy, windy, etc. If the weather conditions are almost similar over a period of a few months, we call it a season. The weather conditions prevalent in different seasons during the course of a year are called the climate of that place. The climate varies from place to place. The factors that determine the climate of a place are: distance from the equator. Places near the equator are hotter in comparison to the places that are far from the equator. The amount of heat received from the sun at a place on the surface of the earth depends upon its latitude or its distance from the equator. There is a gradual fall in temperature as you move away from the equator towards the poles. You can notice that the rays of the sun are falling directly or vertically on the equator. Thus they spread over a small area. Near the poles, the rays of the sun are slanting and spread over a large area. This makes the area near the equator hot and the area near the poles cold. Heat zones. Based on the intensity of the heat received by a particular place, the Earth can be divided into three heat or temperature zone. 1. Torrid zone or tropical zone. The area lying between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn on both sides of the equator receives the direct rays of the sun and thus is very hot. This is called the torrid zone. 2. Temperate zone. The temperate zones are neither very hot nor very cold. 3. Frigid zone. The areas lying between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole and between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole are very far away from the equator. They receive very slanting rays of the sun and are therefore very cold. They are called the frigid zones. Thus places that are located near equator have hot climate and those located far away have cooler climate. Thus the latitude or the distance of a place from the equator affects its climate. Places closer to the sea are neither very hot nor very cold, whereas places far away from the sea have extreme climates. Height above the sea level. Do you know why people go to hill stations in summer? The higher we go, the cooler it becomes. It is because temperature falls with height gained. Some places like Ooty in South India are cooler than others though they are at the same distance from the equator. This is due to height above sea level. For example, the temperature at Shimla both in winter and summer is much lower than the temperature at Ludhiana in Punjab, though they are almost at the same distance from the equator. This is due to the location of Shimla at about 2,150 meters above sea level, whereas Ludhiana is only 250 meters above sea level. Distance from the sea. Whereas the places far from the coast have cooler winter and warmer summers. For example, at Mumbai and Hyderabad temperature of summer and winter is almost same but Delhi has cold winters and hot summers. You can experience the same difference between Kolkata and Lucknow. The air over the land surface is influenced by the air over the sea. During the day, land gets heated faster than water. The warm air from the land flows towards the sea and cool air from the sea replaces it. At night, the sea becomes warm and the land becomes cool. The warm air from the sea replaces the cool air of the land. Direction of the wind. Wind influence the weather of a place, depending on the place of their origin. The winds coming from cold regions decrease the temperature of the region, whereas the winds coming from hot regions increase the temperature of the region. The wind coming from seas or oceans bring clouds and cause rains. Humidity and rains. The amount of moisture present in the air also affects the climate of a place. It is called humidity. Humidity in the air at a place depends upon its location and wind. The places near the sea are more humid than those in the interior and far away from the sea. That is why places near the sea, such as Mumbai and Chennai, are very humid. The rainfall that a place received also depends on the level of humidity in the air. Ocean currents. Oceans have warm and cold currents. These currents affect the climate of the coastal areas. When Western Europe experiences freezing temperatures, warm waters of the Gulf Stream brings a lot of relief to the people. The cool currents reduce the temperature in the torrid zone.